our theme for today is making lemonade out of lemons. And the word of the day is syncretize, which I will let Angel go into more detail about when we bring her up. And we do have a guest, as everybody's mentioned, Jamie, welcome. And partly for your sake, but we're going to go through, I'm going to introduce each role. Each in Toastmasters, everybody has a role, and that'll be the first thing, okay? So first of all is our table topics master. Angel, can you describe a little, just a brief sentence or two what you do? Oh, Angel is, there you go. Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can.
I'm actually having a lot of trouble hearing everyone today. You all keep cutting out and freezing, so this could be tricky, but it's my great pleasure to ask you all some questions later and see if you can give me a short, succinct reply. Somebody will time you and let you know if you're too short or too long. The ideal time is about 90 seconds.
Very good, thank you. And Joke Master today is going to be Corey.
Hi everyone, I am Joke Master today, and I am going to entertain you with a delightful joke. It will be surprising, entertaining, and fantastic.
Thank you. And the awe counter is today's Megan. We need a mute. We need a mute for Megan.
I think she has low energy.
Does that work?
No, now we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay.
Start over, Megan.
Okay. Hi, Jamie. I am the awe counter, which I will be helping you with counting your ums and ahs during your, not just you, with everyone when they speak. But since you want, that's your main interest in being in Toastmasters. But I'm the awe counter. Thanks.
Great. Thank you. Okay, now the next one is the timer. And Pat had volunteered to be timer, but I didn't really get to talk to you, Pat. Do you have the backgrounds today?
Yeah, I do. I have yellow and red. So maybe I wanted some info I'll type in the chat, but so the timer, I forget the new person's name.
Amy.
Amy. So the timer, basically we have a timer and we count for a speaker. It would be, say a speech is 5 to 7 minutes. When it's 5 minutes, we'll put the green up. And then I think at 6 minutes, we'll put yellow for them to start wrapping up. And then at 7 minutes, we would put the red up for them they have 30 seconds to wrap up their speech. And then for table topics, 45 seconds is green. I think a minute or a minute 10 is yellow, and then a minute 30 is red. Maybe someone can put the chat in if I'm incorrect about that. And evaluators, they also have a timed presentation. I believe it's like a minute 15 is the green. Maybe someone can type in the exact numbers in the chat, but yeah, it's basically just to keep everyone on time to be aware of their speech.
Great. Thank you, Pat. And our evaluator today is going to be Stacy. Stacy, can you give us a quick review of what you do?
Yes, I'm going to evaluate our speaker, Anita, and give her feedback on what she did right, what she did good, and maybe something to improve on. That's it.
Thank you. Great, thank you. And then we also have a general evaluator, which today is Jerry.
As the general evaluator, I will evaluate the meeting, I will introduce the evaluator for the speaker, and generally give feedback of how the meeting was run. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. And the chat monitor ballot counter, which is a invented role because we're on Zoom today, is going to be Devin.
Yes. So I'll be monitoring the chat for any questions people have, any issues they have. And then also at the end of table topics, you can privately send your vote for best table topic of the day to me, and I will count those up.
It's all very organized, Jamie, and so it's not, it sounds a little complicated, but it really isn't. And then the watcher, which is also for Zoom, is Deanna.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to be watching you. And then basically give any input I have from the framework of looking at it as a Zoom attendee.
Okay, great. All right, thanks. I wanted to get that out of the way so Jamie knows, and we all have a little review as to what all the parts are and who's doing what. And with the theme of the day, so now I get to talk for a couple of minutes on the theme of the day, which is—
Excuse me, Jessie?
Yes? Can you hear me?
This is Lisa. Do you want me to introduce grammarian's responsibilities?
I'm sorry. I missed you. Grammarian, I missed you. Okay. Thank you
I'm
for
over
speaking
here on
up.
the left.
Lisa. Grammarian. Go
Hi,
ahead.
Jamie, and hi, everybody else. Glad to be with you. As the grammarian, I am not looking for those filler words, ahs, ums, and flubs. What I'm looking for are gems. I'm looking for those great little words people come up with in their speeches, in their table topics, things we don't hear often, beautiful flowing language. And then I'm also looking for those awkwardly used words. And that's what I'm doing as grammarian. And I will give a report when called upon at the end of the meeting.
And is it my understanding, Lisa, that the grammarian will also watch to make sure that the table topics and the speaker, I don't know about the speaker, use the word of the day?
You are correct. And I did not hear the word. Could you please, is it synchronize or?
Syncretize.
Syncretize. And you'll have a definition at some point.
S-C-R-E-T-I-Z-E, to combine differing elements.
Great. Oh, thank you. Okay. Yes, I will. I will have a paper at the ready.
All right, great. And so
Could you
anyway,
spell it? I'm sorry. Could you spell it?
Yeah, sure. S-Y-N-C-R-E-T-I-Z-E.
Thank you so much. That's a great word. I'm not familiar with it.
I wasn't either. And it's a great word, very clever, right? And making lemonade out of lemons is something that everybody's familiar with, an old term. And I know we've all been challenged with that to the nth degree, probably, with the lockdown that California and many of the 80% they say of the country is on now. And people are going, enough already. But the thing is, we just keep digging deeper, don't we? And we keep looking for ways to make lemonade out of lemons. And I know a lot of people have done this their whole life. So it doesn't have to be something that, you know, just pertains to now during this pandemic. Of course, it can be something that people use in their life just as an attitude and as a way of life and as a bit of a backdrop. Because no matter what happens, there's always a way to turn whatever happens into something that's useful, even though it might be devastating. And so we use our own resourcefulness to do that, don't we? In our own lives, it may be something like in the pandemic that perhaps one of the lemonade examples could be that we've gotten to know our family members better. And I know I, for one, have called up a couple of my female cousins that were right around my own age, and we've had some really great interactions that wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for this pandemic. I know other people state that they have been able to learn new technology. Just what I've learned with Zoom is groundbreaking. Even though, I mean, I've done Zoom before, but I'm far more comfortable with it now than ever before. And many people just can increase any kind of relationship just by digging deep, and then we find out maybe we have to reach out to somebody, and it creates more of a bond. people learn to cook more. I know my daughter and her fiance have said that they only had a couple of things that they were cooking together, and now they have a much wider variety of the things that they're doing together. So, and in the past, anything in the past that we've ever been able to bring up, just anything like when it rains outside, it may sound like a really bummer, right? But we might be able to clean out the closets and really focus on that and have a real sense of accomplishment. All right, so that's my little speech for the day. We're ready to move on to introducing the joke master, which is Corey.
Hey everyone, I'm Joke Master. So a joke is really good when you can see the picture in your mind. So I want you to see the picture in your mind. So the boss of the corporation drives up in a brand new gray Lamborghini, sparkling wheels. The thing is just perfect. He revs the engine, boom, boom. It gets excitement. Employees look at him, and I see this. This is me. I see my boss pulling up in this Lamborghini, and I say, wow, that's an amazing car. And he looks at me. He gets out of the car real slow, looks at me, and he says, I want you to know that if you work hard, put in all your hours, and strive for excellence, I'm going to get another one next year.
Right.
Loved it.
Very good. Thank you, Corey. That's the kind of the way it is, isn't it? All right. And now we're ready for our speech of the day, which is going to be with Anita. And I will, first of all, tell you what her title is. It's called What? Chocolate, a Superfood? Love the title. Her objective is that it's the first out of 2 evaluation speeches, and it will be 5 to 7 minutes long. And in order to be able to watch the timer, Anita, it's a good idea for you to put yourself on gallery. Isn't that right, Deanna? Yeah. Okay, are you set? All right, take it away, Anita.
Thank you, Jessie. Who likes chocolate?
Me.
I love chocolate. Yeah, I love chocolate, and I've been loving it for years. And from the very beginning, I heard that it was healthy, but I always thought that was kind of a rationalization, a reason to eat it. And fairly recently, I started hearing more and more that it's very nutritious. And then just very recently, I read an article that said that chocolate is the healthiest food you can eat. And my mind says, what? Chocolate? You've got to be kidding. I never even thought it as a food. I always thought it as a sweet indulgence. So I decided to check into it. And I found out that chocolate starts off as either a seed or a nut. And the seed or nut pod is harvested from the cacao tree and split open, and those cocoa seeds or nuts are scooped out. It's a very long process for them from that point to become the chocolate that we love. But part of that process is the 2 components of the cocoa nut are separated out. And that is the cocoa solid and then the cocoa butter. The cocoa solid is exactly what you find in the market, and it's called cocoa powder. And it's finely ground, it's bitter, and it's very dry. And we use it for baking. The cocoa butter is not really butter, it's dairy, and it's just a fat. But it's a healthy fat, and it helps control cholesterol and reduce cholesterol, in fact, and has healthy benefits just like extra virgin olive oil does. But it's the cocoa solid that has the health benefit. It has not only the vitamins and minerals, but it has a high percentage of flavonoids, which is antioxidants. And even some of those flavonoids are unique to cocoa. They're not found in any other food. Those antioxidants combined with anti-inflammatories found in it are proven to help reduce blood pressure. It's proven, believe it or not, to help maintain healthy sugar levels in your blood, and also to help improve brain health. It's incredible. So are there any side effects to cocoa? Not really. We've been enjoying chocolate and cocoa for thousands of years, and there aren't any big side effects, except that it contains a lot of caffeine. So if somebody has side effects with caffeine, they probably will with chocolate as well. Now, after separating out the cocoa solid with the cocoa butter, the manufacturers put it all back together. But they do it with a recipe, and they do it in a certain percentage. And the reason that they do that is the cocoa solid is exactly that. It's a solid. It doesn't melt. It doesn't dissolve. It stays as a solid. So it's the cocoa butter that they put back into it that gives it the meltiness and the smoothness, the wonderfulness that we love. So I'm thinking, okay, instead of having an apple, how about if I have a Hershey bar every day? Of course, to keep the doctor away. Well, it doesn't work that way. First of all, Hershey bars and other lower end or bargain chocolates, a lot of times they'll lose a lot of the health benefit in the manufacturing. And then a lot of times those brands of chocolates, when they put the cocoa solid back with the cocoa butter, they don't use cocoa butter. They use something that's more cost effective. They'll use some other kind of fat. And then of course, Hershey bars are milk chocolate, and milk chocolate, just no matter what the quality, it doesn't hold the amount of cocoa solids in it because it has all those other great ingredients that make it wonderful. So you can find high quality chocolate bars, and a lot of them have the percentage of cocoa on the label of the bar. For instance, you can find a chocolate bar that's 75%. And what that means is there's 75% of the cocoa solids and cocoa butter combined, and then 25% of other ingredients. And you can bet probably a lot of the other ingredients is sugar. But you can find chocolate bars up to 100%. The experts say if you want any kind of health benefit, you should find a bar that has 75% or more. What's really exciting is there's still a lot of research going on about the benefits of chocolate, and there's really strong evidence that it can help in a lot of variety of health issues. For instance, they're researching fighting cancer. They're researching mitigation on Alzheimer's and dementia, and also controlling bronchial asthma and other things. It's what kinds of things these research opportunities are going to bring. But so is chocolate healthy? Yes, it's definitely healthy, but do we get that health benefit? It really relies on a lot of different variables. And for me, I'm just going to not even worry about it and just keep enjoying it as my sweet indulgence. Thank you.
Am I unmuted? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Anita. That was very uplifting. Fantastic. And now we want to have a evaluation time. So everybody can take 1 minute and write Anita an evaluation. And we'll make sure, first of all, too, that you have Anita's email address, because we're going to ask you to email that to her. Her email, just double check this, Anita, is anita@sunsetbaycandy.com. Is that correct? If somebody could put that in the chat, that would maybe be good.
I'll put it in the chat as well.
Okay, that's anita@sunsetbaycandy.com. All right, ready for the 1 minute? about 15 seconds. Wrap it up in 5 seconds. Okay, and thank you, Anita, again. And the timer, we like it. Could I get a timer's report on Anita's speech from Pat? Did she qualify? Uh-oh. So we're looking for Pat. I can't hear him. There we
He
go.
gave you a thumbs up.
Oh, okay. I didn't see him. I wasn't on gallery. Thank you. I'm going to put myself back on gallery so I can see everybody. Thank you. All right. So Anita, your speech qualified. Very good. And now I'm going to introduce the general evaluator, Jerry, who can introduce the evaluator. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, evaluating Anita today will be Stacy. Stacy, you want to go ahead and give us your evaluation?
Thank you, Jerry. Anita, what a great speech. And I loved your title that you said, what? Chocolate, a superfood? Because I don't know if everybody knows this information. This is really good information. Your question used to open your speech really grabs attention of the audience. And the fact that you gave a story about how you looked into chocolate and started studying it a little bit was also great, because stories always help people to understand where you're coming from. That you gave the background and learned it was a superfood and gave a great description of the benefits was really good, because we all want to know the benefits, before we venture into doing anything. So the health benefits of vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and reducing blood pressure, we all want to know ways to stay healthy these days. Your research showing that maybe there's some cancer benefits, or not your research, but the other people's research is really good as well. So I love that you had a happy face during your speech, and I liked how you described the downside of manufacturing as giving an example of Hershey's chocolate. And, I think I grew up on Hershey's chocolate, but I no longer eat it anymore because I understand that it's probably not the best chocolate. What I would suggest for improvement would be, I know we've talked about this before, but not, we're all still kind of learning, but maybe standing up in front of the camera, if you can raise up your device so that it's higher and then stand up so we can see hand motions, because you're not able to give hand motions when you're sitting down. And the other thing I noticed was just really minor, but lots of eye blinking, and maybe you don't even notice that, but I just happened to see that. So other than that, it was a great speech. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Stacy. I'll turn the meeting back over to Jesse.
Thank you, Jerry. Great job. And so our next session will be the table topics, and that is for Angel. So I'll give the floor to Angel. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anita. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Fantastic. Yes. Unmute yourself so that if I call on you, you'll be able to speak, and you're going to look over where Pat is. Give us another wave, please, Pat. See those colors he's holding up there, Jamie? That'll let you know if you're in time, getting in the middle of the time at yellow, or running out of time when you get to red, okay? Now, anybody can give me a little anecdote. You do not have to answer the question given. You may give me a little anecdote about the last little while, how it is for you, any tips, any uplifting suggestions, or you can have a question. So I am going to ask the first person, Lisa. By the way, the word of the day, what was the word of the day again? Syncretize. Syncretize, which is like just a little bit more deep. making lemons, an example of that. Well, this is happening, or maybe I can combine it with this, and maybe I can create something. So syncretize is just a nice way of combining anything, okay? So try and use that word if you can. Lisa, would you like to give us an anecdote or comment, or would you like a question?
First, I would love to hear the definition one more time, and then I will take either one.
Well, I have no phone, so I can't look up a definition, but it's like synchronize, but
Okay.
synchronize is more to do with timing, and syncretize is more to do with objects or scenarios, or actually more physical things. So if you syncretize, you know, I guess you could make a cup of tea by syncretizing a tea bag with some hot water if you had to. It's very simple, really.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Is that okay? So do you want to give us some ideas about the last few weeks, or do you want a question?
I will take a question, please.
Question. Please give me a number between 1 and 10.
3.
3. Okay, question number 3. Will you have big parties once it is allowed? Tell us about your plans for gatherings.
Thank you for that question, Angel. No, once all this is finished, I will not have big parties because I'm not really a big party person. I like small, intimate gatherings most often. I find it very difficult to syncretize large gatherings where there's lots of people, lots of chaos, lots of food. And I have found over the many years of hosting birthday parties for my daughters or going to gatherings where other people call it a potluck, it starts simple enough, but boy, does it become difficult and out of hand very quickly. I think that it's really difficult to get to know people in a large gathering. I find that there's a lot of preparation, a lot of cleaning, there's a lot of things going on. And when you're the host of such a gathering, it's really hard to just enjoy yourself because you're making sure everybody else is having a lovely time. But what I will say is my older daughter, Hannah, is a party planner. And I'm so grateful for her because while she's been home with us, we've had some really great gatherings in our home. Last night she did kind of a fiesta Mexicana night where she had all kinds of delicious foods. It was vegan and beautiful decorations. And she's done the same other times. And I'm just hoping when it's time for her to get married that she will syncretize her wedding and leave me out of all that because it's not my forte. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you very much. I'm trying to see who has a job and who doesn't have a job. I'm going to ask Devon. Would you like a question, Devon, or would you like to give us some thoughts of your own?
Question, please.
A question. Give me a number between 1 and 10, please.
5.
5. Question 5. What skill have you been or could you have been sharing? For example, recipes, cooking, singing, playing music, reading stories, writing poetry for us, talking about philosophy, making masks, healing work, fitness classes, meditation, delivering food in your truck, or whatever. What skills have you got that you have or could be maybe sharing?
Well, I would say I'm taking advantage of this time to cook more. I already liked cooking and did it fairly often, but it's making me a little more adventurous, taking time for longer recipes since I have the time. I'm not rushing home from work and trying to throw together a meal in 20 minutes. So that's been kind of nice. So kind of exploring new options. And we also started getting one of the CSA like fruit and vegetable boxes. So it's a little bit of a surprise every week. So it kind of makes you have to syncretize between the surprise and what you have in your pantry. I don't know if you guys watch the Food Network, but we often say it's like Chopped. Like you just kind of never know what you have. And you have to just, here's 3 ingredients and come up with a dinner. So that's been kind of fun. I do share the cooking with other family members, so that helps too. But I think we've been having fun trying new recipes and even new produce that I wouldn't have typically purchased for myself. And so that's been fun. So I think that's probably the skill I'm brushing up the most right now.
That sounds fantastic. Thank you, Devon, very much for that. Okay, who hasn't got a job? I don't even know. Deanna, I'm going to ask you, do you want a question or have you got something you'd like to tell us?
You can give me a question.
A question. Number, please.
1.
Number 1. My nephew's wedding and our whole big family trip to Rio for April has obviously been cancelled. And all the weddings I was planning on being booked to photograph as a wedding photographer have all been cancelled as well. So how will your income or your business restart or survive with all this? Or do you see yourself looking for other avenues of work or income?
That's a good question. My line of business is selling analysis software to people, companies that do any kind of designing. And during this time, it's been a little bit more of a challenge to try to sell things to people when I know that they're really not interested in a salesperson giving them a call. They're more focused on how to maintain and growing their own business. So I'm using this time to train myself more in doing more product knowledge. So when we're out of this phase, I can be more productive in offering my solutions to these various companies. So it's a good way to do more self-learning, so diving more into my own brain, try to understand what's going to be more focused and more helpful for my customers. Thanks.
And the word of the day?
And the word of the day, I'm going to syncretize my brain cells.
That was just because you were hunting for a verb and you paused and you went two, and I thought, use the word of the day. Well done. Thank you, Deanna. That was wonderful.
Thanks.
I'm going to ask Debbie, would you like a question or do you have something you're burning to tell us about already?
I have no burning information.
No burning,
So
okay. Give me a number between 1 and 10, please, Debbie.
What's left?
Say anything. I can go to the one next to it if it's been repeated.
2.
Number 2. Okay. Which events are you most missing or most looking forward to going to again?
You know, I really miss hanging out with my girlfriends. It's been nice with the kids. We have syncretized some events. And even though they don't live here, they come over and we've, been doing some barbecues. We had a little Easter breakfast. So that has been very nice for me. But I really miss girlfriend time. I miss just hanging out with my girlfriends, going out, having something to eat, having a drink, and just sitting and chatting. That is the thing that I am longing to do. And I also miss shopping. And that's kind of funny because I'm not really a shopper. And all of a sudden I really want to go just looking for clothes, looking for whatever, I want to go out and go do shopping. So I miss that too. And I've been trying to exercise. And when I go out walking now, it's interesting because I know we're supposed to social distance, but you start walking towards people and you kind of look at each other and people like separate in different directions. And I miss people. Like, I think it's kind of weird that we're sort of afraid of each other and going around in circles to stay away from each other. So I'll be happy when we just kind of act like normal people again. And that's it.
Absolutely. I'm sure we can all agree with that one, Debbie. Thank you very, very much. So let's ask Jamie. Jamie, would you like to take part? Would you like a question or would you like to tell us a bit more about yourself or something instead of the question? You might have to hit the button that says unmute on the bottom left. Can you see that?
Oh, I thought I already did that. Sorry.
There you go.
I will take part and I'll go ahead with a question.
All right then, Jamie. Please give me a number.
4.
Number 4. Oh, here's an interesting one. How can children It's a very wide question, this. How can children ever catch up? Because some children are not in a situation which is even safe, let alone capable of them to be doing online learning and what have you. So what are your thoughts about the situation with education? There's a little one there next to Charles. What are your thoughts?
I did have a thought pertaining to this within the last week, and that was more for younger children who for whom socialization is going to be really important right now. So toddlers and kids who, you know, are 1 or 2, what's their socialization going to be like? How long is this going to last? I don't know. Nobody knows, right? So what my thought was is how unfortunate it is for the really little kids who aren't able to get together with other really little kids. And after this, are they going to look at another little kid and go, what is that thing? That's pretty unfortunate. As far as other ages of children, I know as much as my next door neighbors are having a really hard time with understanding the technology and what's expected of them from their teachers, and syncretizing all of the aspects of the new learning. And that's got to be really tough. So I sympathize with their inability to syncretize.
Well said. Thank you, Jamie. Yes, the ramifications are huge, aren't they, right across the age group. I was a teacher for many years, so it's close to my heart. Thank you for answering that question. Do we have time for more? How many more can we do, Miss Jessie?
Yes, we could do a couple more.
Okay, then I'm going to ask Charles. Would you like to tell us anything, or would you like a question?
I think I want to dovetail on what Jamie was talking about, because I think you guys in real time got to see how a dad has to syncretize. As a defense contractor, you know, I'm kind of in this, you know, macho world, and my wife works for a local utility, and she has to go into the office every other week. So every other week, I'm with the kids, and that means it's homeschool, it means I'm daycare provider, and, you know, Jamie's concerns, you know, how she mentioned, you know, socialization. Yeah, because you can only get so mad at a 2-year-old for acting like a 2-year-old, even if you're on a conference call at a Toastmasters club meeting. They're going to be themselves. And I have undying respect for, you know, everyone from, you know, teachers who, you know, are working with my older child, and the child care workers who are working with my youngest child, because I'm basically like a ball that's, you know, kind of, you know, popping at the seams.
Oh gosh.
It's really for me, like all the, you know, larger socialization stuff, it's really hard because I feel like I'm just fighting the alligators on the boat, and I look forward to thinking about parties and other long-term social ideas.
Thank you, Charles. Yes, incredibly challenging. And of course, I'm of the belief that if children are there, they should be getting 100% of all the attention and you can't do that when you're trying to work. People are trying to work from home, or even in bad situations where the children are, you know, suffering or not fed. And so thank you for weighing in on that one. That was great. Can I do one more, Jessie?
One more.
One more. Who should I ask? Golly gosh. I think Megan has a job. Lucille, would you like a question?
I'm going to piggyback on Devin.
Go for it.
Syncretizing food, because I only go to the grocery store at least 1.5 about 2 weeks every other week. So there was a time when I have to be very creative when it comes to food, and like she said, just open your refrigerator, see what kind of vegetables and ingredients you have there. You look at your cupboard and try to do that as well. So that's been what I did. And I also like to cook. So I cook pretty much every day. And so that was not hard for me to do, but I find myself enjoying it, trying to use what I have and create something that I'm thinking is gonna work. And I said, okay, I'll just throw it together, and it did. So that was good. But also piggybacking on what Debbie had said, going out for a walk, and I really like doing that, and I used to go to the gym a lot, but going out for a walk, we don't wear masks. But like you said, when you are approaching somebody, that you kind of like spread away from each other, which is kind of odd. But other than that, I'm enjoying creating new things with food and creating certain ways when you meet people as you are walking or running, and you just kind of high-five each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And I did hear the word of the day right at the beginning. Well done. That was great. Jessie, should I wrap up now?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you very much. Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.
Thank you, Angel. That was great. And so many people had a chance to share today. So thank you so much.
I have more questions for next time too.
Okay, good. Hold those. Keep those to the side. Okay, so before we vote, we'll need both a grammarian report and a timer's report to see if everyone qualified. So we'll start out with the grammarian report. Did everyone use the word of the day, Lisa?
Yes, everybody used the word of the day.
Very good.
It was questionable, but she did use it with some prompting.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't count. I'm out.
Counts.
That's fine. Okay, and then the next one is the timer's report. Is everybody qualified, Pat?
Yep, everybody qualified. Everybody was under the 145 or 130 time, or 145. Yeah, everybody was good.
Very good. Excellent. And thank you, Pat, for all your diligence in the timing today, for saving the timer. Okay, so now we're going to vote. And so whoever you pick for the table topics, write that name in the chat to...
Quick question. Do we send our vote to Devin or just let everybody see it?
No. You send it privately and you send it to Devin.
That's what I want to make sure. Thank you.
Has everybody voted? Are we good? Okay. So now we'll go on with our reports. And while Devin is counting up the ballots, we'll go on with the final reports. First one would be the AHA counter from Megan. Megan? And we need her unmuted.
Oh.
Okay, can you start over, Megan? Thank you. Yeah, you're good now.
You're good.
Okay. I let's see. Well, first I want to say that I know, Jamie, you were in Toastmasters because that saying and filler words was one of your reasons for being in Toastmasters. So I think that you just did a great job. And the only thing I had was who or whom at the very beginning. I don't know. I thought that was just a nice way that you did. But I'm just supposed to do the so, but you did a great job. All right. Do I just do one person or everyone?
So everyone.
Jesse's, I wrote resourcefulness. I just thought that was a good word. Learned Zoom and clean closets. Great. Angel, it was wonderful that you had 10 possible questions for the table topics that
Do you have any ums or any ahs though, Megan? Did you hear umming and ahhing from people today?
Oh, no, you're right. I forgot. No, none for you. And there's 2 for Charles, 1 for Stacy, or maybe 2 for Stacy. I wrote a lot of notes for each person, and I refrained from the ums. So that was it. Sorry,
Okay, great. Thank you, Megan. We're going to have to make you grammarian really soon, Megan, because you're off on a good start there. Okay, now from our actual grammarian, Lisa.
Thank you. And Megan, thank you for your help because you caught some words and phrases I didn't even catch. Lots of beautiful words. First, Jesse, what a great word of the day. I learned a new word, how to use it, and I always like making lemons out of lemonade. And Corey, I haven't heard Lamborghini. I always say it wrong. In many a moon, because I don't know if people even drive those much anymore. I never see them. Anita loved flavonoids and antioxidant. Is that right? Flavonoids. And other than that, didn't hear any flubs or flaws or anything that was kind of awkward. So good job, everybody.
Great. Thank you, Lisa. It's always good to know. And for our general evaluator, Jerry, take it away.
Thank you, Jesse. I thought it was a great meeting. I think we started on time. We got a lot of people participating. I'm happy to see we got a couple of new people, some guests here, which is always exciting. We need to continually bring people in and keep them coming back for more. The speech, Anita, that was great. And now I can feel much better about the large amount of chocolate I eat. I have no guilt now, so thank you for relieving me of that. And I thought the table topics, Angel, were very good. I think the word of the day is something I hadn't really heard of before, and it's nice to learn a new word. That's part of what we should be doing, is improving our vocabulary. So I think that was helpful. And I think people had a really good take on what they're doing and what's going on right now. So it's always best to stay on the positive note. Making lemons out of lemonade is a continual chore, especially under trying times. So all in all, I thought it was a great meeting and look forward to the next one. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that like a little joke, making lemons out? I think it's really making lemonade out of lemons, isn't it? But it's easier to say making lemons.
Oh, sorry. I turned that around.
I know. Lisa said the same thing, I think. Okay,
Yeah.
we all know what you meant. Very good. Thank you. Helpful. Very helpful. And last but not least, we'll have a report by our watcher, who is Deanna.
All right. I wanted to commend Jamie. When I look at everybody on the gallery view, your image is very bright. I can see your face. It looks like it's highlighted very evenly. And your background is fantastic with your business in the background. I want to commend you on that. I was just wondering, is there anything special that you use for your lighting?
No, I'm just in front. My desk faces a window, so it's got natural lighting. And
Okay.
In the background, thank you. I spent all day, not all day, but about an hour yesterday working on this. Someone in Debbie in my networking group is creating these for people. And I thought to myself, I think I might be able to do that. So I just worked with Canva yesterday and I had fun with it.
Okay, awesome. It definitely stood out. So that's a good reminder for us to have the lighting in the front versus having background lighting. So that way we can visually vividly see your face. The only other thing that I just have a whole bunch of other stuff that I want to mention. Corey, when you did the joke, I loved how when you made an emphasis, you just went in and you looked at the camera and then you came back out. So that was a real good way to just emphasize some punch to your joke. And we tend to kind of forget that because we're in this the camera, but that's just one way to gesture and make it very obvious. I also thought that everybody looked into the camera really well when they spoke. Megan, one thing I wanted to mention, Megan, that sometimes you were at one edge of your screen, so your face was about 1/3 of the image, so it looked like your face was just really large on one corner versus being centered and even. Lisa, I noticed at one point you were playing with your hair a lot. I don't know if you realized that, but you were kind of like braiding it at one point. So just being cognizant of what you're doing in front of the camera when people are watching. And that is it for today. Thanks, everyone.
All right, excellent points. Thank you, Deanna.
Sorry about the cat. Sorry about the cat. I didn't think I was being watched at that point.
That too.
And I know for my own self-evaluation, I could look more into the camera. I was looking away, as I do sometimes, and it's all practice. And I really appreciate being your Toastmaster today. And every time I do something like this, it goes a little deeper and it makes it a little easier. So thank you for this opportunity. Okay, so now we're going to have, thank you, we're going to have a drum roll for the winner of the table topics. Okay, there we go. And the winner is Debbie. Thank you. Yay, Debbie. All right. All right, very good. Okay, so with that, I am going to turn it back over to our president, Devin.
Hi, thank you. Thank you, Jesse. Excellent job. And thank you so much for stepping up and volunteering to be Toastmaster. I know this is a new experience for us, but it's good practice. So thank you for that. One thing I want to do really fast before we go is we're going to take a screenshot of everybody, but I tried to do it and everybody's looking in different ways and making faces. So I thought, let's just all smile at the camera and I'll take it really fast. And then we have it because the district would like to see us, what we're doing and participating and doing things. So I'll count, I'll say 1, 2, and then on 3, I'll take it. So get ready, everybody. 1, 2, okay, thank you. All right, so let's look at next week. All right, here is next week's schedule. We are in need of a Toastmaster. Charles is going to be our table topics master. Lisa is our speaker. And then we have a lot of open roles. Stacy's on for general evaluator. Deanna is joke master. Anybody know they're available next week that can jump in on a role?
I'll sign up for Toastmaster.
Great, thank you, Pat.
This is Anita. I'll be awe counter or grammarian.
Okay, I'll put you here.
This is Jerry. I'll be evaluator.
You want to be evaluator? Okay. I can take grammarian.
I will be the general evaluator then. How about that?
We have that one's full. We still need a timer, chat monitor, ballot counter, and watcher.
Does the watcher do what you just did? Whoever just spoke.
So that was Deanna. So the watchers, that's one of the unique roles to the Zoom meeting. So
I'll give that a shot if you need a watcher.
Okay. Yeah. So they are looking to evaluate how you present on video. So it's evaluation specific to that.
I can do the timer. Do I just get 3 pieces of colored paper?
Yeah. So that was a good example of so I know my computer does the same thing as Deb with the virtual backgrounds. It doesn't work. So if you can't do that, you can hold up the colored pieces of paper and that works just as well. As long as there's some visual for the rest of the group, that works. But
I don't
virtual backgrounds, we have those as well.
Like a red cup. or a yellow banana. Would that work too?
Like, so I think Pat did well. It filled the whole screen. So we got to remember that the boxes are small on people's screens. So kind of take up the whole visual plane. So the paper works best, I think. The paper or the virtual background if you are comfortable with that. All right.
Now, yeah.
I could be chat monitored about counter next week.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jesse. All right, cool. We have a full slate. That's perfect. So now announcements. So there are going to be division online speech contests. So we have 2 coming up. So this Saturday and then April 25th. So Lucille, I think this came out in an email, right, with the information, or do we need to send that to them?
No, I think it went out in the email. It's also the schedule and the link is on the D5 calendar. So the link is there when you click on it. So there's one coming up this Saturday, Central Division, and then Northern, which is our area is part of, is going to be next Saturday.
And these are the winners. This is the second round, right? So
these are the
one at the
area.
Our area. Okay.
Yeah. So all of the Northern Division contest, all the clubs or the area, whoever won the area is going to compete there, and whoever is going to win in the division will compete at the district.
Great. Okay, so you should have received like the district newsletter that goes out, but if you didn't, let me know and I'll send you the information to watch. So it would be good to support if we can. And we mentioned at the beginning, but if in case you weren't here, dues are due by the end of the month. So you can mail the check or pay online. Just let us know. And then I'll take the floor. We'll open for Lisa. Go ahead.
Hey, Devin, I don't know if you want to take another picture, just because I noticed, Jesse, your Toastmaster is spelled with the misspelled. So do we want to fix that and take another picture? Or does it not matter? Will that not show?
I think it will be very small, but,
okay.
But if you want to.
If you put your cursor on them, otherwise they go off, don't they?
Anyway, I
I just thought if you're going to post it somewhere, it
will show on the screenshot.
It won't?
Yeah, your name will show when she takes the screenshot.
It does show, so. Okay, I can take it again.
Take it again.
Okay. All right, everybody, get ready to smile. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, thanks.
And when we close, I just need to ask a question of Devin and Deanna.
Okay.
If you could stay for a minute.
Yeah, we'll stay on the line. Anybody have any other announcements for the club? No? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is our record high attendees. Jamie, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you again, and we'll see everybody next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks. Great meeting.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.